Hi, this is A. Winston. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Topic I'm going to talk to you today is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episode 2 and 3. Episode 2 is Walking the Tightrope. It started off with Lisa and Broadwin driving around in the car, and she was asking Broadwin, what do you think about my Bezos event? What do you think about happening at the event? And Barbara said, well, I didn't like what happened at the end of the event. I didn't like what Whitney did. And she said, I didn't like what Whitney did either. And she said she wanted to continue to argue with me and she didn't want to listen to stuff. And Barbara said, well, I thought it was very childish of her walking out, and not getting anything resolved. And then while they was driving, she was saying, well, have you been to Heather's house before? And she said, no, I haven't been to Heather's house. She said, Heather's house looked real pretty and stuff like that. She said, she said, we're driving up right now. She said, oh, does look beautiful, does look really beautiful. And so when they said, oh, Heather, you getting in the car? Heather got in the car. She said, well, let's drive by my favorite Wendy's and get something to eat. So they said, get something to eat. And while they was driving around, they got their little stuff, and then they left Wendy's, and then they came. And then so Lisa said, yeah, Heather, me and Barbara were just talking about what happened at my event last night, and we was talking about the way Whitney was acting. And what do you think, Heather? Heather said, well, I didn't like the way I didn't like Lisa. I didn't like the way Whitney was acting either, and stuff like that. She should have listened to you, Lisa. She should have apologized. She should have did it and stuff like that. And so Barbara would say, yeah. To me, it was kind of childish of Whitney to just walk out and just say that word, just walk out, and then they all got to kiki laughing, and then switch to the next scene. But later on, you're gonna find out that Heather is a messy heifer. And she started that stuff just to get them people talking about Whitney, but I'll explain that a little bit later in the video. Anyway, switch to the next scene, and the next scene was Rachel talking to her husband, and she told her husband that things didn't go well between her and Lisa. And Lisa didn't want to apologize for the things that she said last year. And she said she thought Lisa and her were friends, and she thought Lisa and her were going to get on a better relationship. And he was saying, well, maybe y'all should talk it out. She said, that's what I thought we was going to do at this event. We was going to talk it out. He said, well, maybe y'all need to be in a room by yourself and alone with other people. She said, well, yeah, maybe that's right too. And then switch to the next scene. And the next scene was Mary. And Mary was saying that her son is living back with her now, and that he don't have a job and he's not going to school, and that's because of her. She said because her mom had left all of them when they was little, it was 5 of them, and she just wanted her son to be around her and stuff like that. She said eventually she'll kick him out. And then she told her son, she said, do you know that this new lady that's in our group, her name is Whitney, and she said that I was poor, and I told her I didn't tell her I was poor, and so I just said, we had a lot of kids in the family. And then her son said, well, how she gonna say that about you? How she gonna say that about you? She don't even know nothing about you. And Mary said, yeah, right, that's what I'm saying. And so Mary was right. That Brian woman, she tried to be relatable to Mary, but she wasn't relatable to Mary, and she just came off as high and mighty and arrogant. And I guess she didn't understand why Mary did what she did. But anyway, they walked out of the scene and switched to the next scene. And the next scene was Mary saying that her husband Seth had got a new job, but the job is outside of Salt Lake City, so that's why he's rarely at home. But she said she's gonna take him to his cooking class so he can learn how to cook. So he got the recipe and learned how to cook. And then while they was on that break, Mary told Seth that she wants to do a bar mitzvah. And he said, huh? What? Bar mitzvah? He was shocked and surprised. He said, we normally, I'm glad that that you want to represent your heritage. He said, I'm so glad. He said, but we normally do bar mitzvahs, when we're our teen. She said, yeah. She said I was hesitating at first, and I was so scared to do it. And anytime you mentioned it to me, I didn't want to do it. She said, with everything going in the world today, the climate and all this anti-cynicism that's going on, if I'm saying the word right, I think this is the best time to do it. He said, okay, I'm so glad of you. And then switch to the next scene. I'm glad for Mary too. And she wants to do her heritage stuff. So it switched to the next scene, and then the next scene was Whitney. I think it was Whitney and what's it called meeting up at the no, it was Broadway talking about how her and her husband had moved to Salt Lake City in a year, and they met at a nightclub, and they started having drinks, and then after they had drinks, then that's when they started talking, and like she said, the rest is history. And she said her husband was the owner and the starter of the Palms, and they showed all them old palm reading things and them old cell phones that we used to have in the early 90s and stuff. And so she said now he doesn't do that anymore. He's more like into investments. And she said he thought he was going to teach us something about investments, but he didn't. And so then it switched to Heather going to the crystal shop with Whitney, and then she said, "Oh, how you doing?" He said, "I'm doing all right." And then Heather said, "I thought you was going to buy that the way you was looking at that crystal and stuff." And she said, "Yeah, it's a nice, pretty crystal, and I like the colors on it, but it's too big for me. I don't like no big crystal. I don't like no." She said, "But the way you was looking at it, I thought you was going to buy it." She said, "No, I'm not going to buy it." And she said, "I wanted to talk to you." She said, "Yeah, I want to talk to you." She said, "Whitney, I didn't like the way you did treat Lisa at the place." And she said, well, Helen, you are my cousin, and I thought you were going to speak up for me, but you really didn't say too much. She said, but you got to admit that you were wrong for talking about Lisa on that podcast. And Whitney said, well, Heather, Lisa discounted all my feelings, like she didn't hurt my feelings about the stuff she said about me last year. And Heather said, well, you were wrong for saying that stuff about the podcast. Can you admit that? She said, I already apologized for that, Heather. That's why I'm not saying, why you keep telling me I already apologize. And then she said, well, that's why I thought maybe you and Lisa should have a private conversation. She said, we tried to, but like I said, Lisa is kind of my feelings. And she said, I want to plan a trip. I said, what you mean? I want to plan a trip to Milwaukee. And Heather said, what do you mean, Walker? She said, I want to invite some of the girls. She said, I know Rachel will come, and I also know Broadway will come. And then Heather said, huh? Broadway? She said, yeah, Broadway would come. I knew Broadway would come because Broadway likes me. She was my friend. She said, are we talking about the same Broadway? And she said, yes. He said, Broadway was just talking about you to the other ladies and laughing. And I'm saying, Heather, you was doing the exact same thing. Why are you getting Whitney all riled up about Bronny? And then she said, oh, I didn't know that. I thought she liked bad and then the show ended. That was part 2. I'm going to pause right quick and I'll get me a drink of water. Okay, episode 3 of Salt Lake City is basketball, bobbleheads, and brawls. And so it started off with Whitney talking to her husband at a house, and she told her husband that she invited all of the girls to the Milwaukee trip, including Lisa. But she said she didn't know if Lisa was going to come because of the issues that her and Lisa had and stuff like that. And he was saying it would be nice if Lisa could come. Her husband Justin said it could be nice if Lisa could come. Maybe they could all work out the issues. She said, well, I invited everybody, like I said, but hopefully Lisa will come, but I don't know if she'll come. But if she comes, I'll be happy for her to come because I want to work on our issues too. And then it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was Rachel talking to her husband, and she was saying how she wanted to go to the Milwaukee and have fun and go to the game and do all that stuff, and she didn't want to be having no drama and stuff. And she was saying that Whitney told her that she had invited Lisa, and they didn't know if Lisa was coming. And she was saying that between the issues between her and Lisa, she don't know if she want Lisa to come. And then he said, well, maybe y'all can work it out and y'all can have a private conversation by yourself. And Rachel's husband said, Rachel's husband said, and Rachel said, we already tried that and that didn't work. She said, I want to show you something what I bought. And then she went around the corner, she had them big old glasses on, and they showed a picture of the basketball player who made those glasses, and she had some blue and white ones. He said, when did you buy that? She said, I had it made for me, but then she had a blue and white jersey and stuff. And then her husband looked at her and shook her head, and then switched to the next scene. And the next scene was Heather talking to Lisa on the phone, and so she was saying, are you going on the trip that Whitney is gonna have? She said, I don't know, with all the issues that when me and Whitney had, and the way Whitney did me at my last event, I don't know if I really want to go. And then Heather said, you should go and have fun, and maybe that would be a chance for you and Whitney to hash out your issues and stuff like that. And Lisa said, we already tried that at my event and it didn't work, so I don't know if I want to go. She said, well, just come on and go and have fun. That's what her said. And then Lisa said, well, I'll think about it. Lisa knows she gonna go because she gonna want to get paid for Bravo. She already knows she gonna go. She had seen on camera. Anyway, they switched to the next scene, and the next scene was Mary FaceTiming Whitney, and Whitney said, Mary, are you coming? Mary said, yeah, I'm coming. She said, Whitney, I know you got a private jet for us, and for us girls to fly on and stuff like that. She said, but the jet is so small and stuff like that, gonna be cramped over people. I'm coming, but I'll meet y'all there. She said, okay, Mary. She said, it wouldn't be for you. She said, Mary, was anybody else, I would give them a hard time. By it being you, Mary, I'll give you a pass. I think Whitney looking at Horn, Mary's on good terms, and that's why she's not gonna rock the boat as long as Mary comes. And then it switched to the next scene. The next scene was Mary talking to Seth, and she told Seth that she don't know if she want to go on the trip to Milwaukee, even though Whitney invited her. And so he said, what's the problem? Do you not really want to go or what? And she said, well, I got plans. He said, oh, you got plans? He said, if you got plans, well, then don't worry about going. Just do a plan. She said, my stuff was planned way in advance before she planned this trip. He said, but like I said, if you don't want to go, you don't want to go. He said, well, I don't know if I want to really be around Whitney this time. And I'm looking at Meredith. You sat up there and did all that talking, and you didn't even apologize to that girl on episode 1 about what you said her last year. It's like Lisa and Meredith, they forget what they do, and then they want people to apologize to them and stuff like that, and they don't want to apologize to people for their stuff. And so next thing you know, they was at the airport, and all the girls met up at the airport, and Rachel was there too. And so Whitney came, and then Brittany said, all the other girls came in, and Brittany said, is Lisa coming? And then Whitney said, no, I don't know. I invited everybody, but I don't know if Lisa coming. And stuff like that. He said, if she comes, she comes. If not, maybe we can hatch out stuff. He said, girls, we can't be waiting. Let's go. So they got ready to go. And next thing you know, here comes Lisa flying in the airport. Wait on me. And Whitney said, I thought you wasn't coming. I said, I already know Lisa was coming, and I also gonna be coming. And so they got on the plane. They said, where? She said, oh, Mary's gonna meet us there. So Mary was the first one who got there to the hotel, and she got in. She had the bellboy helping her with her bag, and then they came right after Mary. And then Whitney saw Mary standing in the hallway, and she said, oh, Mary, you here. She ran up on the hood, Mary, real quick. All the other girls all the girls talked to Mary and stuff, and then Whitney said, "Come on, let's go and check our room." And then they said, "Ooh, everything's beautiful, everything's beautiful." Lisa talking about, "I want room 4 something, 402 or 403. It got a big view and a big thing." And then Mary said, "All the rooms look nice and pretty to me." Next thing you know, ooh, next thing you know, Whitney said, "Some of us are going to the museum, and others are going to the gambling, the skating rink, the skating hockey." And then so I said, "Which one you want to go?" Lisa, "I want to go to the gambling and the skating ring." And Whitney said, "Okay." And then Barbara said, "Well, I like to go to the museum and stuff like that." And then I said, "What kind of museum?" And then Whitney said, "Well, we going to the bobblehead museum." Yeah. And then Mary was kind of funny on her. Mary said, "Oh, okay, I'll go with y'all to the bobblehead." So they got to looking around at the bobblehead adventures and stuff. And then they showed a picture. They showed a picture of Lisa and Heather at the gambling table. And then they showed another picture of Lisa. I think it was Lisa and Heather, Lisa and Heather or Lisa and Malene. They was kind of doing the ice hockey and stuff. And then switched to the next scene. And the next scene was them arriving at the game. And the president of Milwaukee gave them a view around the field. And then he showed them their box seats and stuff. And then they showed them where Whitney was taking a picture with one of the Milwaukee players. And then they showed other people. And then they showed them in the VIP box, in the private box that they had. And so all the girls was talking. And while they was enjoying the game and stuff, Brittany's boyfriend come calling in, Jerry. And she said, "Oh," he said, "Where you at?" I said, "Oh, Jerry, I'm at the game. Lisa said, "You can't be talking to him. We're at the game. We're trying to hear." Mary said, "Yeah, you can't be talking to him. Get him out the phone." Lisa said, "Well, give me the phone." And so she gave Lisa the phone. Lisa started texting and saying, "I'm at the game. I can't talk to you right now. I'll call you back later." And so he said, "Okay." And next thing you know, Lisa said, "Why is he calling you, interrupting you while you having a game and having a good time? He could have waited until you got to the hotel." We said, "Nah, then there's nothing wrong with it. We FaceTime like that all the time." And then Mary said, we had a game, we having a good time." So they showed Mary having a good time and stuff like that. And so Lisa was telling her, she said, "Brittany, I hate to see you going through this, because this man, he's not feeling like, to me, from what you telling me and what I've been observing, it don't seem like he's in a relationship with you. It seems like you're in this relationship by yourself. I told you earlier, you need to think about whether you want, how far you want to go with this relationship, or do you want to end this relationship." And then so next thing you know, Rachel got in there. She said, "Well, Brittany, I kind of agree with Lisa." She said, from my point of view and our point of view, Jared don't look like he's in a relationship. Like you're in a relationship by yourself." She said, "Nah, he likes me. He wants me and stuff. We've been off and on." She said, "Well, I started not to tell you this, but I think I'm going to tell you this." She said, my brow girl said that Jared has been texting her and getting in her DMs and all that kind of stuff. And Brittany talking about, "Well, no, I don't think so. Not since we got back together. I think he did that when we broke up." Rachel said, "No, I'm gonna show you a text message. This was a week ago. This was 2 weeks ago." Baby, she got them mad and got to crying and going to the bathroom. And then Lisa ran behind her, and I think it was Heather too, and they were saying, "Well, yeah, we understand. She said, "But I didn't think he was gonna do that to me. I didn't think he was gonna do that to me. I kind of suspected something, but I wasn't for sure." And she got to crying and it went out. And I was saying, "Girl, you need to listen to Lisa and these people." That's all I have for this video. It was really good. Episode 2 and 3. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a T.I. is. I am out.